Craig, with Pedro, what are the things that you have been impressed with? Maybe just some of like the underlying stuff that he's doing that has kind of impressed you about the way that his skill set has translated to the big leagues.
Yeah, a couple of things. I mean, one, he's he's 22, and I think he's really handled a lot of these situations really well. Like not playing every day, still being productive. He asks very good questions. He asks the right questions. And I think the other thing is defensively, I think he's been really good as well, especially at third base. I think he's been excellent. So there's a lot to like. I mean, I'm for a 22-year-old to come up and kind of play like sporadically and be on the bench and still be a contributor. It's been fun to watch, and I think this is kind of a lot of the things that we saw in spring training have carried over.
Is there any conversations you've had with him specifically that kind of stand out?
I mean, we've talked about kind of not playing. I think in Cincinnati, we were in a little stretch where he wasn't playing that much, and I think he's done a really good job of it. But it's the first time that's ever happened to him. When for guys like Pedro, you're 22, you're in the big leagues already. Like, you have never not come to the field, and like you're in the lineup. You know what I mean? Like, you play every day. And so we had a good conversation about that, but that's what his head is. He understands all that. He's got a really good frame of reference for it. His work on those types of things have been the right kind of work. So he's just kind of ahead of it, if that makes sense. He's ahead of how you approach situations, and that's really impressive.
What made the timing right to send Kevin back down and call Triantos up?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. One, there's not a lot of playing time for this spot, and that's going to be the same situation for James here. We'll kind of see what happens in this stretch of no days off, but likely not to be a lot of playing time. So I think we're going to be kind of move this spot around a little bit to try to, not give these guys too much time where they're sitting on the bench, so to speak. And then James has had a really good year, and I think this is a good introduction to the big leagues for him. I think the thing to remember about James is he's 20. This is another young player. He's 23 years old. He's his second year in AAA. Definitely made a big jump this year in terms of his offensive production in AAA. And it's just a good young hitter. And he's got room to grow, and this is an experience that we think can be really helpful for him for maybe the time when you have to come up and play a lot. But excited for him to get an opportunity.
For how much he struggled last year, he talked about how important that was for his development. When you see a guy go through something like that over the course of the season and then come back the next year and put together a season that he's putting together right now, do you learn anything about a guy? I know.
Well, I think,
older.
yeah. I mean, I think it's like for James, when you get to AAA as a 21-year-old, you've never struggled in baseball. You didn't struggle in high school. You didn't struggle in pro ball. So that it happens to everybody at some point, and I think if you have to learn from it. You have to get better from it, and I think he took the lesson the right way, and he has. Didn't knock him down forever. He got back up, so to speak, and yet you go out and have a good year, and you figure out what you got to do to be better.
You talked about it before, but how is this experience helpful for a young player who might not be getting a lot of playing time?
Well, no matter what, when you come here, it's the thing. It's just faster. Everything is faster. Like from the game itself to like decisions happen faster, and you got to be prepared. And there's a different language that every individual team speaks, and there's frankly more accountability to that. So. You get it on a little bit slower basis if you're not in there every day, and I think that's the hope for James is he'll learn a lot of that and be comfortable with it.
That's certainly what you did last year, like rotating like Casey, Ballesteros, Alcántara, just and even with Pedro earlier this year, the idea of exposing.
Yeah.
All those things you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can you tell us about Matt Shaw?
Yeah, Matt's. I mean, we're in the same kind of place as maybe my last update with Matt. We just have it's healing. It's close. It's just the wrist is for hitters is just a little sticky in that, like, you're gonna, if it's not perfect, you're gonna have symptoms. And we just got to get past the last little dose of inflammation and get that out of there, and then we should be good to just move forward quickly.
Is there any big update on any of the pitchers?
No, I mean everybody's. I would say we're doing well with everybody. Everybody's making really Palencia's, I'd say probably had a great last 3 or 4 days. Very, very positive about how Daniel's feeling. So he's got a big day tomorrow. Tomorrow's just a bullpen where he throws all his pitches, and then we can start to put together a pretty good calendar.
You updated Cabrera's maybe second week of August. So you guys still
Yeah, he and Hoby are in South Bend this weekend. They have a live on Sunday, and Hoby will go right to Iowa. Cabrera's next step is a game in Iowa, but he's going to join us in St. Louis to throw his bullpen and stuff.
Triantos plays a lot of positions, but which ones are you kind of comfortable with, like major league viable defenders?
I think we're comfortable at second, third, out and left field probably. Yeah.
Gavin has had a really nice stretch of games here where he's not giving up much of anything. What have you noticed from what he's been able to do out of the bullpen?
Gavin's somebody that's, I think, really benefited from the opportunity part of this that we talk about a lot. Like, I think maybe in Gavin's, I guess, basically all of last year, first 2 months, he just wasn't getting like big moment opportunities because of who else was on the team. I think starting in New York, he got an inning where it was like sixth inning, up 2, I think. Gave up a run, but like that was the first game he had probably like significant situation that he had pitched in, just because of where we had gotten to in terms of available pitchers. And he's really taken that and kind of run with it, and he's got some confidence from that. I think he's improved. His strike throwing is I think been a key to this stretch here. He's just throwing more strikes, and that's the stuff. The stuff has always worked. He's just throwing some more strikes.